What's up, everyone? So before getting started with this episode, I just wanted to do a quick intro. Our guest is Isaiah English. He actually just started with That Pitch a couple months ago, and we landed him an Adidas ad this month, which was dope. He's a great guy. He lives in Conway, Arkansas. So if you are from a small town and maybe you want to produce full-time or you just want to do music full-time in any capacity, this could be a really, really inspiring interview for you, and hopefully we can get you in the right foot forward, or whatever that saying is. Anyways, here's Isaiah and my conversation. All right, hope you're having a great day. Welcome to the That Pitch Podcast. The That Pitch Podcast helps music producers and artists tap into the world of sync licensing, publishing, music business, and more. So if you are tired of trying to make it and you're more interested in making a living, then you are in the right place. The That Pitch Podcast is brought to you by thatpitch.com, the #1 music licensing tool for producers and artists. I'm your host, Mark, the founder of thatpitch.com. Now let's get into the show. I am chatting with That Pitch member Isaiah English from Conway, Arkansas, who not only landed his first placement like last week or a couple weeks ago, you landed another placement a couple days ago, bro.
Like 4 days ago.
Look at you go, baby cakes. You're landing them left and right. If there's a placement to be had, you're landing it.
You better just hand it over now, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys.
All right. So, Enoch, our head of A&R, he let you know a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited because this second placement that you got with us, two things I'm excited about it. One thing is, he already told you, but act surprised.
Okay, I'm ready.
Isaiah, guess who the client is, bro?
Bro, who's the client?
Adidas. Yeah, that's right. Scooch back. Yeah, go running. Yeah, we got an Adidas placement.
What?
Yep, he walked out. Goodbye.
Dude.
That's
and
right.
Still, like, every time I think about it, I'm like, it's not really registering. You know what I mean? Like I just joined a couple months ago. Like, I just got here, you know?
Sick.
That's wild, man.
I'm stoked for you, bro. Cool thing, too, is I actually got to music supervise this, which is only my second time music supervising.
That's awesome.
So the first time I have like an official music supervisor credit was for a Burberry commercial.
Wow.
So this was like my second one, which is Adidas. Yeah. You didn't get that one. But anyways, something to tack on to the credentials. But let's not talk about my creds. Let's talk about your career. You're a producer who got a track into an Adidas. You landed a placement a couple weeks ago for another lo-fi track you did. You're killing it. And you're from Conway, Arkansas. And something that I love talking about is, living in places that are not the stereotypical music market.
Oh, yeah.
I live in Charlotte. That's not New York, LA, or Nashville or London. Right. Conway, Arkansas, sure as shit is not. So,
not.
Dude, how's the scene down there? What are you up to? You're producing a lot. We talked, a lot about your production career. How's everything going, man?
Well, we just got a canes a couple months ago, raising canes. So like we're moving up in the world.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm not even actually from here. Like I just moved here last year, but there is a lot of like more than you would expect. There's a lot of indie music. There's a lot of coffee shops because there's like 3 colleges. So tons of college kids, tons of indie music. That scene is actually doing better than you would expect it to do for a town of like 60,000 people.
That's dope. You know what's funny, man, is like one of the best ways to like increase your hype, so to speak, is through playing college towns. So the baby is from Charlotte. He blew up.
Right.
Back in 2000, I might be wrong, 18 or 19, like right before Suge came out, he was touring around North Carolina to small college towns. And his whole strategy is that he would book out, an event space or like a venue in a small college town where it was like, a town of 20 or 30,000 people.
Right.
And you can either see this artist play and, they would like run ads to everybody, in that town on Facebook or Instagram, or you could just do nothing and drink beer that night or study. So like everybody went to the show.
That's smart.
and it was packed out because he had no competition. And then his film crew got all the video of him in front of these crowds, just like freaking out over the baby, even though they had no idea who he was. They ran ads to that, made sure everyone saw it. He blew up, and everyone was like, "Who is this guy?"
Wow!
And it's just he knew how to. Yep, he rigged it in a good way. I mean, like, perception is reality.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
There's so much power in small towns and small cities, and it's so overlooked, man.
Plus, like you were saying before, when I first joined up, the overhead is so low.
Yeah,
so low.
Yep.
I mean, in Conway, Arkansas, you can get a 2-bedroom apartment for $750, $800 a month.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Well, we're paying some rents for you. That's awesome.
That's rent right there, easy, and then some. Oh man,
dude, that is dope.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because while you're there, you know, and not as worried necessarily about rent necessarily, you have the economy of the world for music that pays a lot more. It just goes so much further.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely, it does. And I mean, like, we're going to see that right now, but like you said, it even further on once I've got more production clients, and it's like higher dollar values per project. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get started in production? You said you're not originally from Arkansas. So tell me the story, man.
Okay. So let's see. My dad and my mom were both double music majors in college. So that's where that starts, right? So you got that. You've got my dad, who was like a worship pastor for half of my childhood, and the other half he was like started his own church. So he was like he's the whole staff, right? More or less. But because of that, by the time I was like 3 years old, I was playing the drums, you know, because he played the drums. We had training in piano and music theory, so I understood like the building blocks pretty early on. From like the age of 9 up until like I moved away for college, I played drums in my church, 52 weeks a year. The drummer got sick one week, and my dad was like, the songs go up there, and then that was it, And at some point, some point, the worship pastor, after my dad left, he gave me an old copy of Reason, the DAW. And he was like, here you go. You don't have anything to record music with. So like, here, play around with this on your school laptop and figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I would like deconstruct the demos, and then try and like watch YouTube tutorials. I was making a lot of EDM at the time. So, YouTube tutorials on synth design, and that sort of thing. And that's pretty much where the production started. That was probably 2011, 2012. Yeah.
Dude, that's sick. The cool thing about Reason too is like it's all there. Especially earlier versions of Reason, you didn't need anything else.
It was just there.
It came with everything that you needed. Like Pro Tools back then, you had to get a bunch of different VSTs and everything.
Right.
Reason, it was just all set up. It's like, here you go, get started. It's just really, that's why I think I gravitated towards Ableton, because it was like, I don't know, for some reason that it was like enough for me, Whereas I came from Pro Tools before, and I was like,
Pro Tools is rough, man. They taught us that I went to not production school, engineering school with Crass in Phoenix. And they taught us a lot of stuff on Pro Tools. And it was just, it's rough, man, to me, because you have to manually do like every single step. And when I'm writing, that just takes up so much time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you, dude. Well, so you started taking on some production clients as well, and you're working remote. So what I think is like really cool about your career is when we first talked, like when you first joined, we had like a call, just like, just chatting about, I don't know, life, production, business, all that. And I thought it was cool because like you really have embraced like, hey, like remote is the future. My tracks, all my music that I make is worth something. It's just a matter of like, who's it going to? So it could be artists. It could be for sync. It's just like building the catalog.
Right.
What's kind of been your strategy so far, like for production clients? Like what are kind of the goals like in the career? Cause now you got like some serious creds, dude. You got Adidas, bro. That's sick, man. I'm so excited.
I'm going to put that on my business cards. You know what I mean? Just
dude, produce a track for Adidas.
Really, man. No. For as far as like the remote thing is concerned, I love music and I wanted to make a career out of it like my entire life. But I also I got married recently and I want to have kids, and I don't want to be on the road or in the studio all hours of the day and night and miss them growing up, because to me that's got to take a higher priority over my work. So when I realized that like remote work and remote production was like a genuine viable career. I didn't know that up until recently. And so when I found that out, I was like, well, this is clearly it, because it gives me, the best of both worlds. Hannah Montana. Uh,
Yeah, no, it's dope. It's like you just fully embraced it. Cause like, I don't know, when I was only producing, like that was my bread and butter. In Charlotte, there wasn't really much going on at the time, but I was like, look, it's cheaper to live here. There's clients all around the world that I could work with, whether that's for, production, for sync or whatever. A lot of times, like they kind of know each other. Like the way I got into sync was one of my, somebody who reached out to me for production. She was like a huge sync agent at this company in Amsterdam called Cloud9. Yeah. Well, downtown Benelux in Amsterdam, but it was also Cloud9 publishing.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Charlotte, she was like working on an indie pop record, and she found me. She wanted to work on a record with me for her own stuff. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I do sync. And I was like, what's that? I don't know what sync is, And she's like, well, it does this and it does that. I'm like, well, that's cool. And, so it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool. They all end up working towards one another, don't they?
And just the process, like you're telling me that story now. And then like when I told you on our first call, I found out about that pitch in line at a coffee shop in Conway, Arkansas. The first time I ever met Alex Velty, he's part of that pitch too. I think he signed up right before I did.
Yeah.
But like
I recently interviewed him.
Yeah. So like that's my boy, dude. He lives like right down the street from me. But that was the first time I'd ever met him. Dope. My wife knew him for some reason and was like, hey, this guy makes music. You guys should get together. So I meet him at this coffee shop. We're standing in line and he's telling me about, I found this guy, Mark Eckert. He runs this like micro sync company. And I've never heard of any of this, right? So he's like, yeah, here, let me send you the link. Like, go look at his website. And I signed up like a few weeks later, and here we are.
Dude, I got to hit up Alex and say thanks, bro. But dude, without you, I mean, what would we have done with this Adidas ad, bro?
We would have had to give it to like somebody else, which is inconceivable.
Bro. No, man, I'm super proud of you. It's cool because like you're so early on you literally just signed up and you're already got a couple deals.
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, you're killing
because
it.
Like at first I'm watching people like in the Facebook community talk about how it's been a while since, they've placed anything, or like they've joined for X number of months and they haven't placed anything yet. And I'm thinking like, okay, it may take me like 6 to 9 months to really get like up and running and start getting some placements. And nope.
Yeah, I mean, it just like it all depends because you never know what people are looking for, and the whole point is just like to build a consistent catalog because you never know when someone's looking for something, but once they are, it's like you're the person with the stuff.
Exactly.
So,
which is why uploading to
pretty
Brief
cool,
C
man.
is so important. Plug for all the rest of that pitch, guys. Upload to Brief C, even if they're not asking for it this month.
Just keep building the catalog. Like that's what's so important. I mean, all of your tracks are little pieces of real estate. It's just like, how are we going to rent them out?
That's a good way to think about it.
It's literally every single song is a piece of real estate. You could sell it. You could rent it out. That's it. But you're just always building houses. That's it.
That's a good way. My dad's in real estate now. So like that really tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally it. That's literally it.
Okay. Right on, dude.
And we're basically the property management
company, There you go.
We're managing all the houses. We're finding renters. We're finding buyers.
Yes.
The new platform, you can find your own renters and your own buyers.
This is going to be crazy.
I'll show you that another time.
No, you already showed me.
I'm excited, dude.
You showed me last time.
Oh, I did? Oh, yeah, because our last call didn't even actually happen. Jesus. Anyways, well, cool, man. Yeah, you're killing it. I don't know. I feel like we covered so much. Not a terribly long interview, but like you're killing it. You're still killing it. You got an Adidas ad. Yeah. What else? Dude, do you have any lessons that you want people, or do you have any like advice that you want people to know? Like, I would really like to break into kind of the small town stuff because I feel like that's a huge hurdle for people. Like they really think if they're not in LA or New York or Nashville or London, and even people who are there, like, well, I'm only in this neighborhood or whatever, you're killing it. And, you definitely live in a small town. It's like almost a mindset thing.
Yeah, I think it is because I've done the whole, like, So I've lived in probably 6 or 7 states at this point. And
Oh
I've
wow.
lived in California. I did the whole like taking trips to LA to, like 3, 4 days straight, just do songwriting and like basically sleep in the studio, do that whole thing. And that didn't get me any further than being out here has. So I do not think it's a physical location thing anymore. And the number of people that I hear that still believe it is, which I get it because it's been that way for so long, or the whole like you have to run into people in the hallway in order to make a collaboration happen because that's the way it's always been done. And it's like to me, it's the same mindset as the last generation that didn't grow up on the internet, not understanding the capabilities and like what you could do with it, and thinking, well, we still have to do
Mhm.
everything in person. And for our
Right.
generation and anybody younger, like who grew up on the internet, we just take it for granted. We can talk to people from anywhere. I've played games for years and years, and so I'll have like friends on Discord. We playing games with people in Germany, that like I'm waking up and they've like been on for hours, or however the time works there. So I think it's just like you said,
Yeah.
it's a mindset thing. I mean, I just didn't assume that I couldn't. I was like, yeah, I can find people on like Instagram or TikTok that I rock with. I like their music. I can start talking to them and make something happen. Just a mindset thing.
Yep. I mean, most of my like big connections in the industry have happened through LinkedIn.
Okay.
Um, LinkedIn's been great for me, and then Instagram, obviously. Um, but it's kind of funny. Usually, when like I travel to a new city, I don't meet new people. I just connect with people that I'm already tight with through Instagram or LinkedIn or just like phone calls. That
Huh.
a lot of honestly, like getting email introed, like a nice intro is just so lovely. Like I got there's this license actually happened twice this week. I think I actually made a post in the group because today I had a meeting with this company in India. I had this meeting with this company in San Diego, and both of those were just through like email intros for somebody that yeah, looking back, I reached out to a person on LinkedIn. Jessica from Audio Shake. She's awesome. Super cool person.
Nice.
She's building like this STEM creation software.
Ooh.
And it's really, really cool. You like upload a track and it has an AI thing and it just creates
Just
stems
like
for you.
breaks
It
it
sounds
out
really
right
good. So
there.
like, yeah. And if
Wow.
you've like lost your files before,
Yeah.
it's created that for you. So it's really dope. But I reached out to her on LinkedIn because I was like, oh, she's up to like really cool stuff. Sent her a message. We just chatted, and maybe it's been like a year since we've met or something. Not even probably. And she this past week like made some intros for me, and she's like, "Hey, you should meet this person." And
Nice. Nice.
one of our members who licensed their tracks through this particular licensing company out of San Diego, he made an email intro, and he was like, "Hey, that pitch would be dope working with this company." So I'm like, it's just all the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and like I met my
Like,
wife on TikTok. I met some of my best friends on TikTok, like on just on the internet. So
yep. Enoch met me through Instagram.
that's wild. I did not know that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And then he just like what up and moved
I
to North
met.
Carolina?
Yep.
Nice.
And Daniel, I introduced you to Daniel
Yes.
Grimmett, who owns Dark Label Music, awesome company for like producer development.
Hmm.
I met him through Facebook, even though he lived
Ooh.
like 10 minutes from me. I met him through Facebook like in 2010 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, I just had a picture of a drum set and he hit me up and he's like, "Hey, I need a session drummer," or something like that.
Dang. And
Because he was yeah, he was working out of studios here at the time. So like,
I actually have a call with him tomorrow to get into like talking about development, like for me to see like, just to start planning things because looks like I'm gonna work with him for just like some.
Dark Label is dope.
Yes, most definitely.
If you want producer development, Dark Label, I can't get behind it enough. He's amazing. He's my original mentor.
Yeah.
Awesome dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for you to chat with him. He's a good dude.
Same,
sure.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, let's listen to this track that got an Adidas placement.
Let's do it.
Hell
man.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Listen to this guy. It's 5 minutes.
Long, bro.
I'm trying to think. Should we listen to the whole thing or like through half of it?
You can just play half. It's like At a certain point, it's like it's the same thing, but
It
different
repeats
shapes.
it repeats itself.
Just with little
We'll get
variations.
through half it. They'll get the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. And this one's called. This track is called. Wait a second.
You
Let me
got
open
this.
it up.
I won't say it.
Let me open it up. Court Sneaks.
Court Sneaks, baby.
Hell yeah.
It's all in the name, bro. If you give them a good enough name, then they'll be interested in listening to it, first of all.
Court Sneaks, bro. All right, cool. Here's Court Sneaks.
And that's that.
Dang. That was fucking sick, dude.
Thanks, man.
Wow. All right. So I'm going to do a quick breakdown of why I think it landed.
Yes.
So this brief was a little bit different because they asked for over 5 minutes of music, which is like, that's, if they're looking for, I don't know, every deal is different, you know, but for us, usually they want a track like no more than 3.5 minutes.
Right.
And this was different because it's like, wow, that's like a lot of, you know, material. But what's typical is when people make something that you know can take up that entire space, they'll repeat themselves, but they repeat themselves almost like it's kind of like a pop track in a way where it's verse, chorus, bridge, you know, chorus, but like they don't really add that much differentiation. Like they have a build, in a way, but so like at the start it's really chill, and by the end it's massive.
Right.
The cool thing about this is there wasn't a build from the start to the end. It was always like, you know, the same kind of energy level, but you gave like a lot of different variations of pretty similar things. So you primarily had an A part and a B part. You had a verse and a chorus, really.
Sure. Yeah.
But the cool thing is the verses, it was really cool because you had a lot of interplaying parts of when the drums came in, when they came out. And it was just really cool, man, because like you always, like the arrangement was really interesting. The arrangement was really good because there was enough variation where you could tell you were in the same place.
Yeah.
But so like if somebody's using it, they can take little bits and like rearrange it as they need to. Like really this track, you know, an editor could cut up, rearrange, and it would actually sound fine. Like if they did that, you know?
Yeah.
It was really like, it was really cool. I was really impressed by this track, man. Yeah, there was just like a lot of places where the drums were in, but there was like only bass or there was no bass and there was just harmony there. That was good, man. I'm like really stoked about how this turned out.
You.
Sick, dude. How was the production making it? What was your process?
Honestly, I had no preparation, no nothing. I got up at 4:30 that morning to go to work. You know, came off like a 9-hour shift, came home, sat down, and just pulled up some like stock Logic horns. All I knew is I just wanted really big brass. I was like, this is basically like NFL theme music, right? This is like if the band kids and the like the hip hop kids hung out, basically is what it is, right? So I knew I wanted like really big trombones, so I layered like 3 or 4 trombones, you know, just all doing the same thing. But just started playing around on my key. I got a keyboard over here. Just started playing around on it till I like came up with that main melody or that main theme. And from there, it was a matter of like just looking through my samples. Okay, I've got some marching band drums. That's perfect. That gives it like exactly the vibe you want. And then I had a lot of different types of swells and build-ups due to like producing EDM over the years. And that was a big thing for me. Like you pointed out how the arrangement changes from like 8-bar section to 8-bar section. I did my freaking best to not put the same build in the same places. You know what I mean? I might use the same riser like 3 or 4 times throughout those 5 minutes, but it's not in the same 8-bar section as it was before. Or if it is, it's layered with another piece that's different, so it doesn't sound or feel the same.
Yeah. You got I think that was the key of why this probably landed, is like a lot of it was enough differentiation without sounding like it was repeating itself.
Yeah. And that's honestly, that was a mental goal of mine. I was very conscious of that when going into it, because I've done stuff like game design where you have to have, 20 different sounds for footsteps on rock, and then you got to make sure that they don't repeat themselves within 7 or 8 instances. And then you have, growing up on YouTube and the internet anyways, people have a short attention span, and you don't want to, like, even in a YouTube video, you don't want to hear the same music you were hearing a few minutes ago, unless it's like a specific theme. Like, you want there to be variation. And so that was just a constant goal. It's like, okay, I cannot just copy paste stuff. I'll drag like a few elements from here to here, but then I got to change some stuff before I go on. Yeah.
Yep. 1,000%. Oh, dude, that's great. What advice would you have to people, pursuing their career in music? Any That Pitch members? You're killing it, dude. So what advice you got? Life advice, production advice, everything. Business advice.
Business advice I'm not going to speak on because I've only just started my own. That's why I'm calling Daniel tomorrow. Get some business advice. Life advice. I moved here, got married, and work 40, 45 hours a week with an hour plus on the road every day. And I still make time to produce. So I think it all comes down to mindset, like you said before, just like one with time management, two with believing it can be done, because it can, as we're seeing here. And then three, well, you got to open your mind, like for the longest time, it was like, okay, if I want to be a producer, I've got to get into studios where artists are and like play in my beats and, make connections with people that way. And then it was, okay, maybe I can talk to some people online. And then it's somebody introducing me to sync, which I didn't know existed. And so the more I learn, the more I'm like having to redefine what music business or what business as a producer looks like. And I'm starting to learn that there's, many different ways that money's going to come in. It's not going to be like one standard thing. And we're also used to 9-to-5s, or people in my position are, that we just think about it like this is the job and you get money from doing this one thing. And it's just not that way. And so the more I can learn that, or the more we can all learn that, the quicker you'll be able to see opportunity in other areas and start bringing money in.
Always have an offer. That's one of the best pieces of advice I ever had, is if somebody's got a problem, always have an offer.
You made a video on this for What Past Wednesdays.
You know what? I think I did.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I was listening to it on the way home from work.
I got to start doing more of those live streams because it's apparently helping everyone.
I've just been watching. There's a lot of good advice. Like if I'm on a break at work or something, I'll be listening to it and just take notes.
Dude, you're killing it, dude.
Thanks, man.
Fuck yeah. Well, awesome, dude. Got any pluggables anywhere for people to check out your music, learn about you, reach out to you?
Instagram. I don't know how to put the but yeah, Instagram and TikTok is pretty much it. It's a picture. I put that before, I think. That's my name on.
You can look up Isaiah.
Yeah,
English.
there you go. I might come up as Isaiah English. I should. My name should be on there.
You should. You did it for me.
Okay, cool.
Just look up Isaiah English and then it's a picture.
There you go. There you go, man.
Hell yeah,
it's all
well, awesome, man.